Jacob deGrom is a Ranger. Crazy, right? Overall, at least to me, this is a mixture of being surprising, but not at the same time. We've known for a while now that the Texas Rangers were going to be open to opening their wallets pretty comfortably to free agents, especially pitching ones. There were even reports of deGrom wanting to go to the Rangers himself. Well, it happened. He signed there, and deGrom, someone who has been a Met for his entire career, is gone. And some people are not happy. Well, the entire Mets fan base isn't happy, obviously. Jacob deGrom has become one of, if not the best pitchers of this generation, and one of the best of all time. He's that good. So, of course, Mets fans are going through it right now. But at the same time, you kind of get the feeling that deGrom wasn't ever that serious of returning to Queens to begin with. Buster Olney of ESPN recently wrote an interesting article more about deGrom and kind of the lead up to his departure from the Mets. According to Olney, deGrom started to become a little more distant from his teammates, being a private person who became a little more private. Earlier in his career, deGrom would agree to do in-game interviews with the media on days he didn't pitch, but as time went on, he stopped doing so. Overall, according to the article, he just seemed like someone who didn't seem too interested in building a relationship with owner Steve Cohen, or focusing on being a New York Met, but rather just pitching. So when it's all said and done, deGrom wasn't ever too serious about staying with the only team he's really ever known at the professional level. If Cohen and the Mets decided to beat out any other team's offer and give him the most bread, deGrom probably would have stayed, but the Rangers offered more money, and deGrom decided to take that extra money along with no state taxes in Texas. It's that simple. Well, some are not happy about it. For one, obviously Mets fans aren't too fond of him leaving, but this isn't really about the fans, but more so the media. MLB reporter and insider Jon Heyman made it pretty abundantly clear that he has disdain toward Jacob deGrom, not wasting any time to criticize his move to Texas, saying the Mets are way better off without him. He wrote an article on the signing, sharing the link to Twitter, but not before throwing some shade at the new Rangers ace. On the morning after the signing, Heyman tweeted out, "Jake deGrom made $400,000 per inning the last 2 years and thought he was way underpaid." Turns out the Rangers and others agreed, but the Mets are better off spending that money on someone less talented, that's everyone, but more dependable, almost everyone. But Heyman was not done there. Going on to a later tweet, Mets should be rejoicing today, not regretting. Their offer to deGrom, close to $40 million a year for 3 years, was plenty generous for a guy whose production wasn't matching his promise, or now his price. So clearly Heyman, who seems like a Mets fan, is projecting his anger about deGrom leaving, making it all about the injury concerns that come with deGrom. Don't get me wrong, it's not a horrible point. There is a bit of a possible injury concern with deGrom, but at the same time, he's Jacob deGrom. Came back as strong as ever at the end of 2022 and was most definitely underpaid, considering, he's the best pitcher in the game. But that's not all. Broadcast personality Sal Licata, the same man who deemed the Mets NL East champions back in June, before they of course blew the lead to the Braves, is now hating on Jacob deGrom. His first tweet after the blockbuster signing went down was, "Told you he wanted out." But that was most certainly not all he said about deGrom. Watch.
That's the only thing I think that makes it easier for the Met fan. I think Gelbs is right. Obviously, it's a painful day. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I've been preparing myself for this. It still hurts. I understand that. But he wanted to leave. He chose the Texas Rangers, who won 68 ball games a year ago. He doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about having his number up there beside Mike Piazza and Tom Seaver. He didn't care about that. That's the only thing. I know it's going to hurt for a while. That's the only thing that eventually will make it easier. Oh, and by the way, Steve Cohen's still the richest owner in the sport.
At the end of the day, Jacob deGrom wants to win. He cares about that, and so do the Rangers. Sure, they were not a good team in 2022, but the fact that they brought on 3-time World Series champion manager Bruce Bochy to manage their team, hired a new pitching coach, already spent $500 million on their middle infield, are now paying deGrom and aren't done yet? They want to win, and deGrom knows that. deGrom also wanted to get paid fairly according to the market, and so he did. He was offered more money by Texas. It's pretty simple. But that of course will not stop the hate from flowing through some people. Let me know what you think, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.